Hello and welcome back to Cloveriness. My name is Michelle and today's video will be a review of The Book of Broken Hearts by Sarah Ockler. And to be honest, I didn't know very much about this book when I bought it. I saw this cover. It looks very summery, it looks romantic and cute. I love that there's a reflection of these two characters in this rearview mirror here. I didn't really connect it with a motorcycle, and to be honest, when I first picked it up I was thinking, oh, perhaps there's a road trip in it, and you know how much I love road trips. To be honest, I put it on my shelf and didn't really think that much about reading this book straight away until I saw a Tumblr post in which this book was included under a main character who is a person of color, I believe. And the love interest in this is of Mexican descent, I believe, and even the main character, I believe, is Argentinian. So to be honest, that did skyrocket this book to the top of my pile because you know how much I love supporting diversity. So based on the fact that it looks summery and cute and light, and the fact that there is a person of color on the main cover, as well as being, you know, a central focus of the book, meant that I wanted to pick it up straight away. And you know what? This book hit me a lot harder emotionally than I was expecting it to. I don't know how many of you know what my situation is, but unfortunately last year my dad was diagnosed with dementia. If I'm honest, if I'd known that this book deals with the main character's father's dementia, I honestly would have avoided it. I feel a lot more connected to Jude, the main character, just already based on just that. So that is a large portion of the book. And with that, like, as an aside, I want to say that I did really enjoy this book. It was painful to read in parts, but that made it both better and worse for me. I feel like it probably is a really good subject for people to read about and come across in fiction, so that these things can be explored and understood and things, but just for me personally, it felt too close to home at times. So getting back to the book, this book is about Jude. She is a teenage girl, chooses to spend most of her time with her dad. It does mean that there are some friendships that she's missing out on, and there is a distance growing between her and other girls her age, but she decides that it is more important to spend this time with her father. Her father has unveiled this vintage motorcycle, and he tells he tells Jude all of these amazing stories about how he rode this motorcycle around South America and had all these crazy cool adventures, and she decides that, you know, this motorcycle is a thing that makes her dad happy. And aside from all of the decline in his daily sort of functions, aside from everything that is going wrong with him in a physical and sort of mental state, she decides that, you know, the thing to do is to restore this motorcycle. She goes to the local mechanic, who says, you know what, this is going to be a really expensive major project. Why don't you try to do things cheaper and hire this boy, Emilio Vargas, to handle most of the repairs. And she has this internal struggle, like, mentally, about, on the one hand, she really wants to make her dad happy and she really wants to do this project, and on the other hand, many years ago, her and her 3 older sisters made this pact, and this pact is never having anything to do with those rotten Vargas brothers, who are heartbreakers. And I thought you know, when I first started reading this story and I was hearing all of these things that they said about the Vargas brothers, and I was thinking, well, you kind of know what's going to happen in this story, and you can kind of see what happens on the front cover there, and I really don't think that that's spoiling it for you. But Jude does have these issues that her sisters that she is going to have to deal with. I think what I enjoyed so much about this book is that it's about spending time with family, and a lot of family issues do crop up, both between Jude and her father and their really sweet relationship, but also Jude and her sisters. She has 3 older sisters, none of them are living close by, and it kind of relies on and a lot of the family responsibility to look after her dad in his condition lies on Jude, and that is a large responsibility to bear. And a lot of that is brought up within this book, and at the same time we've got Jude. She's like one step away from moving out as well and getting some of her own independence, and a lot of her, you know, thoughts and her internal monologues are stressing about what is going to happen to her dad, and the idea that she might put her life on hold in order to look after her father. And it's really, really sweet. I really enjoyed all of this family relationships and the way that this, like the dynamic of this family works. So everything to do with restoring a motorcycle is interesting to me. It's not something that I come across very often in young adult literature. I did enjoy that there's quite a lot of Spanish spoken throughout the books from different members of both Jude and Emilio's families. I thought that was quite cute. I really, really liked seeing Emilio's family. I really enjoyed those scenes as well, because just families in general, they're nice to have included in young adult literature. There's so many absent parents and absent family members, and letting these teenagers get on with it. But in fact, you know, both Emilio and Jude had family members that you could tell really cared about them, and not always supportive in the case of Jude's sisters and their relationship and this pact that occurs. In terms of the romantic aspects of the book, I really loved how Jude and Emilio get to know each other throughout the book. I felt like it was a gradual change in their relationship, especially because Jude takes this pact really seriously at the beginning, and she's really conscious of how hurt her sisters have been in the past by the actions of Emilio's brothers, and she does really take that into account in how she deals with Emilio at first, and you know, gradually some of those hard edges and barbed comments start to soften a little bit as she sees how wonderful Emilio is with Jude's father. Again, loved the family relationships, mother and daughter, and sister in particular. It is a very sweet romantic story as well as a family sort of drama. I definitely enjoyed this. I rated it quite highly after I did finish it, and again, you know, Sarah Ockler is just one of those authors that I enjoy reading, and I will continue to buy her books blindly. So much for watching this incredibly garbled review, and I will see you next time.